Fed cuts today, 25 basis points, 50 basis points, will it be? We've got interesting news. Well, Tradespotting's prediction of 6,000 or 600 on SPX or SPY, will that come true? And will we see follow through on all of our favourite stocks? Talking LPSN, GameStop, and that's about it, isn't it, right now? Bitcoin, back challenging 60,000, oh my goodness. For the details on all these things, you'll have a really in-depth, fantastic, fun, entertaining show this evening on Rocky's channel. But for a quick look, here is SPX 5634, pushing to the top side, had a bit of a enthusiastic open yesterday and then closed more or less flat. Bitcoin is the interesting thing there at 59, doesn't manage to recapture 60. Depending on the size of the basis cut at the Fed, we might see different dynamics on Bitcoin. LPSN pre-market 103, fantastic opportunity coming up there shortly. GameStop just about to lose $20 in the pre-market pricing, bit of a gap yesterday, may well be another today, so it's struggling. AMC has lost that $5 level, which was so very important for it. 551, break that, something interesting happening. SPX though, it's all about the Federal Reserve's decision, and that decision coming up later today will be very interesting and have a big impact on all of these other stocks that we're trading. The world is abuzz with the anticipation, gearing up to this particular meeting. It's at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Meeting is not just any standard calendar event. It's a pivotal moment. One of the most significant meetings that the Fed have had in the last 4 years. They're widely expected to announce a rate cut, which will break that 4-year trend of holding or hiking. The burning question on everybody's lips is, how deep will this cut be, right? And the first cut is typically the deepest, they say. But personally, being quite thick-skinned and well experienced myself, I think that the first cut is merely the beginning of the new trend, perhaps. And we'll see, are they looking for a 25 basis point? Will the markets react if there's a 50 basis points cut? Would that suggest that there's weakness and that scare the markets? I don't think so. Though it might be Jerome's idea that based on a data-dependent approach, he's going to wait for even more data, itself not entirely reliable or proof of anything in particular. Is he just going to wait for more of this data before he can ramp up those cuts, which would then suggest that there probably is a long-term view to bringing down the cost of borrowing money alongside keeping inflation at around 2%. Is that a dual objective now at the Fed? The question is, do they cut 20 or do they cut 50? If they cut 50, is that an overcorrection? Is it likely after so much time doing nothing? Is it more perhaps sensible to expect a 25% basis point cut and then wait for it to start ramping up? Because you've still got that opportunity. You know, it's better to cut too little than too much, right? I can tell you, if you're building a shed, then you'd rather be cutting a little bit less off than you needed to than too much, because you can never go back. And I think Jerome, being risk averse and the previous trend that we've seen him in, it's likely 25 is where I would put my money at the moment. But there is problems in the market, in the labour market, so it's true that if that data is weaker than we expect, or if the Fed are maybe a little bit more concerned than we understand, maybe the first cut is 50 basis points. The decision revealed today at 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stakes couldn't be higher. It will have ripples across the financial markets and influence everything from mortgage rates to the value of the US dollar, investor sentiment, economic outlook, policymakers' decisions, everybody bracing for this very pivotal, I did it again, pivotal decision at the Fed. Are there going to be that cut steeper than 25? That would suggest that there's perhaps, the Fed have been caught behind the curve. Are they just going to go with the 25 basis points, which might not be as big a boost as the market's anticipating? Whatever the choice the Fed makes today, Rocky Outcrop Show in the evening will keep you safe. This is a butterfly, and the target on SPX is up there at 6,000. On SPY Why? SPY, you'd be looking at 600. All-time highs, return to test this trend line at the top side of prices, and that would have a huge impact, today's decision, on Bitcoin, struggling for holding 60. Once it does, that's very significant. LPSN, currently trading at 1.03. Future, it might be up at around $113. But right now, real bargain opportunities, and I'm known for them. GameStop, also known for having very accurate predictions and covering the GameStop stock. Recently, we said 25 would be hit. It was. And that price action thereafter perhaps come back down and slip below 20. It has done so, and it looks like it might slip below there again today. If that Fed decision is positive, the cost of borrowing money goes down. That isn't going to impact GameStop the same way it would in growth companies that are able to take advantage of the cost of borrowing money. GameStop instead leverages the cost of borrowing money to increase its interest payments to offset operational loss. So an interest rate cut for GameStop isn't particularly positive, though it does mean that its investors will have slightly more disposable income and a little bit slack there in their accounts, may be able to put that to good use. GameStop being cheap could very much get a lot cheaper though. And thank you very much for watching. Hit the like button. Rocky Outcrop show later today. I can't wait to see it myself. I love Wednesdays for Rocky Show. And Bitcoin makes its biggest moves on Wednesdays, and we've got the Fed meeting as well. Plus, Celtic are playing in the Champions League. Doesn't it get better than that? Also, I thought I should probably point this out while I'm here, and because it is Wednesday, and I do expect something shortly to happen. You've had a number of touches of this $1 line. Should it break, we've got an important level of support there on LPSN at 96 cents. Dropping below that, you'd be very unlikely to see it below 88 cents. All of these areas are below price. That's because the community at large here are excited about the opportunity to add to this thing, committed to a long-term hold or managing their positions, swing trading it up to the top side, aiming for targets way higher than it is at the minute. You know, $4, $9.50, $12, $22, $38, 69, 113. These are just some of the targets on the way to making billions and billions of dollars. Possibly. Not financial advice though. Thanks very much for watching.
There's one other thing.
Oh, there's one other thing.
You might want to mention just in terms of this rate cut coming up, you know, and people were anticipating in the run up to it that there would be the people were thinking about how there'd just be one rate cut this year, was what the anticipation was up to this point. So it could easily be the case that they cut 25 basis points, but strongly signal that they'll be cutting more. I mean, if they cut 25 and people expected 50, but they said, and we expect 75 until the end of 2024, then that might be a different type of signal to the market. Something else to point out there.
All very exciting in this extremely exciting election year. So, no matter who you're voting for, vote for Tradespotting. Vote often, vote regularly, vote frequently, vote early, vote often again. And check out Rocky Outcrop show tonight. I'll put a link to his show at the end of this one and in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button. It's a bye from me.
Bye.
Me. And that's a bye from you. Hit that like button. Bye. LPSN. Not financial advice.